Welcome to the Protagonist Pub. My name is Tammy, and today we're doing a book haul. As you have already surmised from the thumbnail, this one is science fiction and fantasy. I thought about breaking it up versus, my Better World haul or my third quarter haul, but instead I'm just going to do it by genre. And I'm probably breaking historical fiction up in the future into at least 2 videos, just judging by the amount of historical fiction that I have, that has got my attention. So today we're doing science fiction and fantasy, and this stack is reasonable. It's reasonable, but they're all thick. I say that there are 2 that are not thick, and so maybe 3. So let's do those first. First up, and you guys may have seen these. This is The Martian by Andy Weir. Everybody except me has read this by now. And I also picked up Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. And yeah, Amazon delivered a brand new book with a giant bend on the cover. I've heard nothing but great things about both of these. Bought the movie trailer for this one, which releases in 2026. Looks fantastic. Thus, I need to read it, and I cannot wait. I will say I have not been reading. I'm hoping doing a book haul reignites that love of reading, because right now reading is a struggle. Like, nothing has my attention. Like, absolutely nothing. So here's hoping this works. Okay. And then the last skinny one is Starship Troopers by Robert A. Heinlein. I picked up 2 books by him. The second one is Time Enough for Love. This one is a chunker versus this one, which is not. I have started this one. My husband loved the movie. I've never seen the movie. I have started the book. And I'm interested. I'm enjoying what I've read so far. So that's an encouraging sign. I don't have the quote in front of me, but there's a quote from Time Enough to Love. If I can find it quickly, I will put it here on the screen. That absolutely, just sold me on the book. I'll read you a little bit of the back of this one. Time Enough for Love follows Lazarus Long through a vast and magnificent timescape of centuries and worlds. Heinlein's longest and most ambitious work, it is the story of a man so in love with life that he refused to stop living it, and so in love with time that he became his own ancestor. I need to know. I really need to know. Okay. And this one, even though I haven't finished the first book yet, I know I love the writing and I know I'm enjoying the story. I told my husband if it ever showed up, I was buying it without question. If it was, not for a stupid price. It wasn't for a stupid price, and it matches my first book, Merlin by Stephen A. Lawhead. This is the second book in the Pendragon Cycle series. It is very rare to find this in this cover. Thus, I snatched it up immediately. So, looking forward to that. Okay, in the Soul mass market paperback, which was a mistake on my part, that is Pandora's Star by Peter F. Hamilton. Hard science fiction, big old chunky boy. I'll read you the back. The year is 2380. The inner solar Commonwealth, a sphere of stars, contains more than 600 worlds interconnected by a web of transport tunnels known as wormholes. At the furthest edge of the Commonwealth, astronomer Dudley Bose observes the impossible. Over 1,000 light years away, a star disappears. Since the location is too distant to reach by wormhole, the Second Chance, a faster-than-light starship commanded by Wilson Kim, a 5 times rejuvenated ex-NASA pilot, is dispatched to learn what has occurred and whether it represents a threat. Opposed to the mission are the Guardians of Selfhood, led by Bradley Johansson. Shortly after the journey begins, Kim wonders if the crew of the Second Chance has been infiltrated. But soon enough, he will have other worries. Halfway across the galaxy, something truly incredible is waiting. A deadly discovery whose unleashing will threaten to destroy the Commonwealth and humanity itself. And if I recall correctly, this is the first book in the Commonwealth Saga series. I am very interested. It's a big old chunky boy. I really want to read this. So, yeah. Okay. I did pick up, I may have talked about this. This is Shadow and Claw. This is Catholic science fiction fantasy. It's written by Catholic. It is not overtly Catholic in tone or in presentation of faith. However, it is fantastic. What I have started to read, I need to get back to it and, read. I need to read. Okay, that brings us to a Better World birthday book. That is The Space Between Worlds by, who's this by? Micah Johnson. And I will read you the description of this because it sounds fascinating to me. An outsider who can travel between worlds discovers a secret that threatens her new home and her fragile place in it. In a stunning sci-fi debut that's both a cross-dimensional adventure and a powerful examination of identity, privilege, and belonging. Multiverse travel is finally possible, but there's just one catch. No one can visit a world where their counterpart is still alive. Enter Kara, whose parallel selves happen to be exceptionally good at dying. From disease, turf wars, or vendettas, they could not run. Kara's life has been cut short on 372 worlds in total. On this Earth, however, Kara has survived. Identified as an outlier and therefore a perfect candidate for multiverse travel, Kara is plucked from the dirt of the wastelands. Now she has a nice apartment on the lower levels of the wealthy and walled-off Wiley city. She works and shamelessly flirts with her enticing and yet aloof handler, Dell, as the two women collect off-world data for the Eldridge Institute. She even occasionally leaves the city to visit her family in the Wastes, though she struggles to feel at home in either place. So long as she can keep her head down and avoid trouble, Kara is on a sure path to citizenship and security. But trouble finds Kara when one of her 8 remaining doppelgangers dies under mysterious circumstances, plunging her into a new world with an old secret. What she discovers will connect her past and her future in ways she could never have imagined, and reveal her own role in a plot that engenders not just her world, but the entire multiverse. So, I'm interested. I'm willing to give it a chance. I didn't pay a lot for it, so that is good. Okay, next up is a complete series and about the first book off Better World. I picked up the remaining 2 books on Walmart. And let's see if I can get them in order. Okay. That is, what is the name of this series, by the way? I don't know the name of the series. First book is The Map of Time by Felix Parma. I have wanted to read this book for a very long time. And it is a nice, big, thick, chunky boy. And I'll read you the back. Characters real and imaginary come vividly to life in this whimsical triple play of intertwined plots in which a skeptical H.G. Wells is called upon to investigate purported incidents of time travel and to save lives in literary classics, including Dracula and the Time Machine, from being wiped out of existence. What happens to the present if we rewrite the past? Felix J. Palma explores this provocative question, weaving a historical fantasy as imaginative as it is exciting, a story full of love and adventure that transports readers from a haunting setting in Victorian London to a magical reality where centuries collide and a writer's mind seems to pull all the strings. And if you know me, you know that sounds right up my proverbial alley. And as I pull off the sticker, because I'm sure you guys are very interested in watching me pull off the sticker. I am very, very interested in this book. So, well, that didn't come off perfectly, but I'll fix that. All right, so I did pick up books 2 and 3 without question. The second book is Map of the Sky. It's just as thick. And book 3 is The Map of Chaos. I am not upset. I don't want to know anymore. I just want to dive in and read those books. I'm saving this one for last. Okay. This book, Dave sent me a text from work. He's like, somebody put a bunch of books on the table. Do any of these sound interesting to you? He sent me a picture. I said, sure, that one. Didn't know anything about it, didn't look anything up. And that book is The Hope We Seek by Rich Shapiro. And I will read you the back. This is definitely fantasy. Zachary Knox, a sharpshooter known as Bullseye Telepath, heads north in search of gold. On his way, he meets Sephi, a magnetic woman on the trail of her lost brother. But on arrival, they find the mining camp is home to a cult. The mine boss, Trevelyan, rules the camp like a despotic priest, and at the center of his faith is Hope, an elusive goddess for whom the miners toil, enduring increasingly perilous trials as they pursue her to the depths of the earth. Zach determines to overthrow Trevelyan, guided by Sephi's cryptic directions, until Hope appears and reveals the astonishing future she has in mind for him. With epic force and seductive allegory, The Hope We Seek transports us to the netherworld of danger and allure, where arduous labor, sustained by unwavering belief, promises an unearthly reward. Rich Shapiro once again holds a dark mirror to the passions that drive us and the extremes to which we go to find meaning in our lives. I have never read anything by this author, and it sounds fascinating. And again, it's a chunker. So that was a good score. So this is the first book in a trilogy. I have only heard one person rave about this book. I don't know anything about the author. I don't know anything about the content, so I only picked up one. If it's decent, I will pick up the remaining 2. That is Fortuna by Kirsten Merbeth. And I love the cover. It screams space opera. It just absolutely screams space opera. So I will read you the back. Scorpia Kaiser has always stood in the shadow of her older brother, Corvus, until the day he abandons their family to participate in a profitless war. However, becoming the heir to her mother's smuggling operation is not an easy transition for the always rebellious, usually reckless, and occasionally drunk pilot of Fortuna, an aging cargo ship and the only home Scorpia has ever known. But when Corvus returns from the war and a deal turns deadly, Scorpia's plans to take over the family business are interrupted and the Kaiser siblings are forced to make a choice: take responsibility for their family's involvement in a devastating massacre, or lie low and hope it blows over. Too bad Scorpio was never any good at staying out of a fight. It sounds like something I'm going to enjoy. You know, it's the length I enjoy for a story. And the only reason I am leery is that says it is perfect for fans of Becky Chambers. I have tried one Becky Chambers book, and that was one Becky Chambers book too many. So we shall see. Okay, that is the science fiction and fantasy haul. It was not huge. It was not overwhelming, but with only a couple of exceptions, they're all big chunky books that I want to dive into, and that is something I say frequently. So hoping I, say a prayer, please, that my ability to dive into a book and just stay immersed comes back, because it is missing in action. Have you read any of these? Are there any I should be prioritizing over others? Let me know in the comments down below. Like and subscribe, and I will see you here next time at the Protagonist Pub.